I like watching bad horror movies. You know, the type of movies that if you showed your 90-year-old grandpa with heart problems, that it couldn't even scare him into a grave. Just the movies that are just so stinky, poopy, not good horror movies whatsoever that you can just rag on them and just make fun of them the entire time you watch them. Because I get joy out of that for some reason. But anyways, if you've been on my channel in the past couple of weeks, you'll know that I've made two videos on two separate movies fitting this exact category I just described. So in this video, I just went completely off the deep end. I delved right into the madness and said, let's up it to 3 bad horror movies in one video. There's no method to the madness. There's no specific reason I did it. I just thought that it was mere child's play to do one movie in one video. So I said, let's go ahead and skip the number 2. Who likes that anyways? Let's do 3, baby. Real men do 3 movies in one video. And since I did graduate from Hustlers University, I got a couple chest hairs on my chest even. I said, hey, baby, let's do it. Let's spread the cheeks and hop on in like we're trying to do a cannonball in a public swimming pool. So the 3 movies that I watched that I'm going to be talking about in this video are Slender Man, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, and then Zombievers. But before I talk about any of these movies in specific, I will say that Slender Man and Jeepers Creepers Reborn are 2 of the worst, most unbelievably bad movies I've ever seen before. You could show them to a baby who doesn't have object permanence yet, and it wouldn't even scare them. And those babies get scared if you do this because they think you disappeared. When you do that and go, oh, peekaboo, while your hands are over your face, they think you just disappeared and got sent to the back rooms. And these movies wouldn't even scare them. They'd probably think they're watching My Little Mermaid or something. So now to talk a bit more about the movies, don't expect this to be a full movie review. I'm not going to be breaking this down to the molecular level. I'm not Professor Utonium. If you want to see a movie breakdown, go to Mr. GG's channel. He does those far better than I could. I'm just going to be giving you broad strokes and just talking more so about my movie viewing experience watching each one of these movies. And if I'm just being honest with you, these movies are one of the things in life that you shouldn't try more than once. You just watch them once and be done with them if you have to. So we're going to start off with the good old Slender Man, you know, our tentacle daddy. Every time I hear the word Slender Man, I think of this Slender Man tentacle porn that I heard listening to the last podcast on the left. And that was just a straight up war crime to all of my senses. So now every time I hear the word Slender Man, I kind of get this sour taste in my mouth and this like fart smell in my nose, and I just don't want to think about it anymore. But anyways, just to give you a good general idea of how bad this movie is, take a look at the IMDb rating. It's like a 2 point something. And typically I say don't base your like watching experience on a movie review from IMDb, but in this case, listen to IMDb because it's stinky. So that's my bad. IMDb has it rated at a 3.2, not a 2.3. I got a bit of dyslexia. But anyways, if you watch the trailer for this because you think I'm wrong, the trailer looks good. They make the trailer make the movie look scary. But that's like, you know, getting the right angle when you're taking a dick pic. It's not as good. They fluff it up and make it look better than it actually is. Way better than it actually is. This is one of the cases where the editing team deserves a good old good game slap on the butt for the amazing job they did, because they turned a pile of dog crap into gold. And that's probably how this movie turned a profit, because the editing people who made the trailer made it look so daggone spooky when it's not. The movie just feels so long and drug out, so expected. You know what's going to happen around every turn. Think of it as like a It Follows mixed with Final Destination type of deal. Once you do the little Slender Man ritual, you'll see him follow you around, and then on a certain day, you're going to die. You don't know when, it's not really set in stone, but once you do the ritual, you're doomed to die. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that premise in specific, it's just that the movie executes it so poorly, so unbelievably poorly, that the hour and a half or whatever this movie was felt like 4 hours. It felt like I sat through an entire school day watching this movie. And a funny thing that happened after I watched this movie, typically this doesn't happen, like scary movies don't influence my dreams, but I had a dream that I was in like the Slender Man world and I did the ritual and stuff, and then Slender Man was hunting me. But the thing is, that dream wasn't even scary. It was like I was in a Scooby-Doo episode. That's what the dream felt like. I wrote it down and everything because I had it and I couldn't believe it. Not even Slender Man nightmares about the movie are scary. I have a nightmare about a movie, about a scary movie, and it's not even scary. That's how you know a movie's bad. And it doesn't really take much to scare someone in your dreams because you just accept that as your reality. Like, a common reoccurring dream is that giant snakes will be chasing me, and that does give me a little spook. Like, I'll wake up and jump a little bit, and like, snakes don't really scare me in the real world, but giant snakes in my dreams do scare me. They make me be a little bit sweaty in my pits when I wake up. But this Slender Man movie couldn't even do that. Now let's talk about this next movie, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. And just in case you're smelling something stinky right now, sniffing your pits, making sure you don't need to take a shower, maybe you think your animal pooped in the corner or something, that's not what happened. You're not smelling a turd, you're not smelling BO. What you're smelling is the movie. It gives off that vibe somehow. It smells like you're smelling a homeless person. I can't describe it, but every time I hear or see the phrase Jeepers Creepers Reborn, I just get this really bad waft up my nose like that episode of SpongeBob. I'm ugly and I'm proud. I smell something very similar to that when I see this name. Because this movie, in my opinion, might just be one of the worst movies I've seen. It's once again a good case where you can look at the IMDb page, see that it has a 2.4 out of 10, and just know to stay away from it. It's pretty much like seeing a white van that says free candy on it. It's just blinking signs in your head saying, stay away, do not come near, don't watch this movie. And it's really sad that this movie's so bad because I've seen the first Jeepers Creepers, and that's a pretty good movie, you know? It's not bad. It's watchable. It's fun to watch. Every character is unlockable, much like the Slender Man movie. It checks every box in the bad movie checklist, you know, bad characters that make really bad decisions. Once again, I know it's a staple in horror movies for characters to make stupid decisions, but it's just they're so stupid that it goes beyond stupid. It goes one level beyond stupid to a word that I don't think there's a word to fit the stupidity that happens. The English language hasn't evolved to the point where I can describe how dumb this movie is and the characters' decisions are. And then also, you know, you have the standard template, you know, final girl who makes it to the end and is trying to be sacrificed and whatever, and then, you know, redneck, other stereotypes, everything you can think of, just check that box. You're going to see it in this movie, and it's going to be done in the worst way you've ever seen and ever thought was possible. Every character is just a copy and paste cliche, but they're somehow done even worse than already bad cliches. It's honestly impressive how bad they are. It's like they worked harder to make them bad than they would have to make them decent. It's unexplainable, really, but they kind of try to break the fourth wall with the main character's boyfriend because he's really into the horror genre, and he even references like the past Jeepers Creepers movies in like a silly off-brand kind of Jeepers Creepers name in the movie. It's just, they try to make a callback to their own movies, and it just, nothing really works, man. They even do these incest jokes, and, you know, I love incest jokes as much as the next guy, especially being from West Virginia. I can appreciate them even more, because I've seen it, you know? I've experienced it, I lived it. But unlike the first Jeepers Creepers movie, they don't work. They're even bad in this movie. How do you make incest jokes bad? They're making incest jokes to the redneck dude. The jokes rot themselves. They rot themselves. And they still somehow mess those up. I'll show you a good incest joke from the first Jeepers Creepers movie, though.
What the hell is his problem?
My first guess? Inbreeding!
See? Good joke. Solid joke. But in Jeepers Creepers Reborn, they just ain't hitting, man. The incest jokes ain't hitting. And when the incest jokes ain't hitting, your movie sucks. Now, just look at this Jeepers Creepers Reborn footage for comparison.
He said there's a surprise waiting here for you.
A surprise?
I'll show you a fucking surprise. You tell me where Lane is right now, or I'll stick this thing so far up your ass you'll taste the fucking metal.
Yeah, hillbilly. It's time to start talking.
All of you take a step fucking back.
It's like we're watching NPCs converse or sociopaths meet up at a sociopath convention. There's just no emotions behind what they're saying. It's just so bland and bleh. Bleh. That's a good way to describe this movie. Bleh. Now, to talk about the last movie, which is Zombievers, and I do have some good things to say about this. This is why I saved it to the end. Saved the best for last. Zombiever, it's a fun movie, you know? It's one of those movies that doesn't take itself seriously like the past two that I talked about. It knows that it's a bad movie, and it capitalizes on that, you know? It builds upon being a bad movie that's making fun of other bad movies, and that's what makes it fun. It's what makes it enjoyable to watch. I mean, for crying out loud, the movie starts off with Bill Burr talking to a dude in the truck. And who doesn't love Bill Burr? He's a funny dude. Wherever you see him, you know you're going to laugh. It's just how it is. Bill Burr in a movie, automatically starting it off, you're going to have something good to say about the movie. Everybody loves Bill Burr. I like Bill Burr. Maybe I just have a man crush on Bill Burr. I don't know. I think he's funny. But anyways, if you need to know what's going on in the movie, it's pretty self-explanatory from the title. Beavers become zombie beavers and they start attacking people and get really aggressive and whatnot. Oh, my bad. And if you get bit by one of these zombie beavers, you turn into a zombie beaver yourself, which looks pretty daggone goofy. This movie's it's just making fun of other movies, other bad movies in specific. And that's what makes it good, you know? It's just one of those movies you can turn on with your friends, especially if you get high and watch it. And you'll have the best time of your life. Like watching the girl get bit and then she anamorphs into a zombie beaver. That's one of the highlights of the movie. It's so goofy and silly that I just laughed out loud watching it. I wish I would have recorded my live reaction because that movie, it's comedy gold. And this is a great example of when you shouldn't listen to the IMDb ratings because they gave it a 4.8 out of 10 and it's not a 4.8 out of 10. Maybe like thematically and cinematically you could give it that, but just the way it executes itself, and it's not a badly shot movie. It's everything about it's good. It's funny. It's well shot. It does what it's meaning to do, which is make fun of other bad movies and just be so bad and over the top bad itself that it's fun. It's a parody movie. It's pretty much like the Scary Movie franchise if you've watched that. Those movies aren't meant to be good. They're meant to be riffs on other movies. And I know I'm probably saying that over and over, but I think this is a good movie. Actually rating it out of 10, I would say this is a solid 8 out of 10, you know, comedy movie wise. My camera's about to die, the light's flashing red, so I gotta wrap this up quickly. Don't have sex without a condom, and remember that your parents probably don't love you. Stay in school, don't drool. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.